man black wrong, and you block it too. How she always be watching you, any little thing that you do. How why Babbzy blow your nose and not your mind? Cause we are living in a tedious time. Mankind, don't you tell no lie. Why blow your nose and not your mind? Cause we are living in a tedious time. Babbzy not telling no lie. Why righteous man, Babbzy won't understand. Yet a righteous man is so hard to find. So I wonder, who's gonna stop this war and crimes? Oh yeah, there are some people can't do things on their own. Yes, they have to wait till Babbzy come home. Yes, you have to learn, then you will earn. Why Babbzy blow your nose and not your mind? I know that you are not blind, so please make up your mind. Why if a man black wrong and you black the Babbzy, I got a blender say that one thing. Ooh, nah, yeah. Ooh, nah, yeah. Babbzy blow your nose and not your mind. I know that you are not blind, so please make up your mind. Why if a man black wrong and you block it too? How she always be watching you, any little thing that you do. How why Babbzy blow your
Can you hear me now? You should be able to hear me now. Testing, testing, testing. Sing, Mom. They want to hear it. We testing audio. Sing something back there from us. Look, Mom's is there. You ain't gonna sing? Oh, you hearing me now? How does the sound better? Worse? What does it sound like? Echoey? Does it sound horrible? Does it sound good? Loud and clear, no problems with the audio now? Okay, good. I figured it out. We learning along the way. We learning along the way. So I figured out how to stream the music into the system, but then I got to remember to switch over everything. Okay, good, guys. So there's been a lot of things that went on in the Caribbean this week, but the number one topic that I want to talk about today is the situation that's going on in Dallas. So there's a situation that's going on in Dallas where a Dallas police officer, a white woman, actually killed a St. Lucian man because allegedly when she came home from her shift from work, she walked into the wrong apartment and then killed this man. Now, I don't know. This story happened last week, and I wanted to wait a bit because I wanted to hold on. You guys can't hear me again? sound far? How do I sound? I didn't even change nothing. I didn't do nothing. Let's try. I don't know what could have happened. I don't know if it's this. Okay, how do I sound now? Does it sound clear, not clear? The sound dropped and got low. Oh! So maybe the sound is coming through my headphones. How do I sound now? Do I sound clear again? Clear? Testing, testing. Better? So I think my headphones is what's picking me up. So y'all don't laugh at me. You know, I'm not this real tech person, you know. So it looks like my headphones is what's streaming me right now. This is not good. So I'm going to fix this for next week. It's the headphones. I'm streaming through the headphones. And I don't want to even touch anything now because I don't know if I'm going to mess it up. So let's start again. Right. So in Dallas, Texas, we had the situation where the police officer who is young herself, she's 30-year-old Amber Geiger. She basically went into the wrong apartment. And when she went into the wrong apartment, she went into the apartment of 26-year-old St. Lucian Botham Jean, depending how your accent is and how you want to express the accent. Hi, Ritzy. And this is just a weird story. So let me read this. The whole world must now be familiar with the name Botham Jean, not to mention the shocking details so far of his death on the night of September the 6th. It still bears repeating. St. Lucian-born Botham, 26, was shot and killed in his Dallas, Texas home by a female police officer who allegedly entered his apartment by mistake, believing the young man may be an intruder. So I grow with Nikki. So Botham was a beloved son, brother, nephew, and uncle of the well-known Jean family. His uncle, Ignatius Jean, was a government minister. His mother, Allison Jean, also served government as permanent secretary. Botham attended the Carmen Wren Primary School, St. Mary's College, and Sir Arthur Lewis Community College before moving to the United States. She's the officer who served 4 years on the Dallas force, has been released on a $300,000 bond. $300,000 bond. On Monday, September 10th, an affidavit from Texas Ranger stated Geiger, who had just ended her shift but was in her Dallas uniform, arrived at the apartment complex and parked the vehicle on the 4th floor of the parking garage, which should correspond to the floor the resident lives on. Geiger entered the building and walked down the 4th floor hallway to what she thought was her apartment. She inserted a unique door key with an electronic chip. The door, which was slightly ajar prior to Geiger's arrival, fully open under the force of the key insertion. Now, this is why I have an issue with this whole story. This issue that I have, it stems from the fact that, one, I'm hearing conversations that, you know, they knew each other. People were saying how she was some jealous, scorned lover. You know how the rumor mill goes on. But let's go to the incident itself, because I have some issues with how this incident is being explained to have transpired. Now, for starters, right, you walked into the wrong apartment. I see a lot of people saying, why didn't he identify who he was when she asked for identification? And I'm like, sometimes when these things happen, I realize how stupid people are in real life. You know what I'm saying? Why would somebody identify themselves to an intruder in their home? This person is trespassing in their home. So someone breaks into my house, walks in my house, and is like, who are you? Identify yourself immediately. So that's her defense. He didn't identify himself. But I'm like, why should he identify himself? He doesn't need to identify himself in his own home. That's his house. Why would he need to identify himself in his own house? Secondly, I have a very hard time believing that somebody could go into the wrong house and not know it's not their house. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, maybe I have a very strong my sense of smell is very strong, but my house smells very specific. I know what my house smells like. My mom smells very specific. Kevin, it smells very specific. It's not a stench. It's a very specific smell people have. When I get off the plane in Barbados, Barbados has a very distinct smell. Jamaica has a very distinct smell. Jamaica and Barbados do not smell alike. When you get off the plane, you can smell the difference. So you push a key in your home and walk in your house. You look around and, like, you know, there's maybe 4 or 5 houses on my street that look identical to mine because it's a builder that built these homes. But the minute I open the door, the shoes at the door are going to be different. The knickknacks at the door are going to be different. The paint on the walls is going to be different. Like, I have a hard time trying to comprehend how you could have went in somebody else's home thinking it was your home. That I don't believe that. Because if I walk in a house and I think it's mine, from the time I inhale, I'm going to know I'm not in my house. It just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just overly sensitive, but I don't know how you could possibly think that you walked into your home and then you saw somebody in your home, you asked them to identify themselves, and because they didn't, you killed them. This seems so weird to me. And I feel like in America, man, it's like, I don't know, man. This race thing is out of control in America. It is totally out of control. And even for me, like, I don't necessarily read a lot of American news anymore because I'm so tired of the black this, black, white this, Kaepernick kneeling, white people mad. Like, it's like every single day. And it's like, it just seems abnormal to me that race is such a big issue. There's no difference between a white person and a black person except the color of their skin. Why is race always such like a sore thumb when it comes to issues? Everything is about you're black, you're white, you're black, you're white. And it's like, my God, man. People are like, well, maybe he shouldn't have lived in a white neighborhood. And then what I don't understand either is, police then put a warrant on the man's apartment. For what? You got a search warrant to search the man's apartment, but you didn't get a search warrant to search the woman's apartment. So she moved out now. So now we can't even correlate stories to say, okay, well, this is how her apartment was set up because she moved out. She moved out already. Because obviously she's going to have, people advising her on what the best move is legally. And in my mind, I'm like, so she moves out, you get a search warrant for his apartment, and basically now you search his apartment and you found marijuana in an apartment, and you feel the need to report this to the entire world because what? Because a man in his home that was living peacefully had somebody break in his home, intrude in his home, and kill him. So now you need to print in the world that he had marijuana in his home. This man apparently was a devoted Christian. He has no criminal record. I'm very, very upset about this story. And, St. Vincent and St. Lucia are neighbors to Barbados. No matter what, when Caribbean people are messed with, it like really, really upsets me. I feel that the St. Lucian government needs to stay on top of this. They need to stay on top of this story. And they need to make sure, because had a St. Lucian person go in the wrong apartment in St. Lucia and kill an American, you would see the drama. And I feel like St. Lucia, they need to, whatever it takes, make sure that this woman gets convicted and does like at least minimum 30 years in jail, because this story is utterly ridiculous. And I'm not going for this. I'm not going for this. I don't like this story. I'm like, and then the way I see people talking about it, like, oh, well, why didn't he identify himself? Like, if somebody broke in my house right now and was like, who are you? Da, 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 da. I don't need to identify who I am in my home. Well, if he just identified himself, he would have been alive. Well, maybe if this heifer didn't come in the wrong apartment, he would be alive. And why is she shooting people? I don't know. There's something in this story that makes no sense to me. You cannot walk into the wrong house and think it's your house. Unless you're high on ecstasy, you're drunk, you know what I mean? You would have to be like inebriated to basically go in someone else's house and think it's yours. I'm not happy with this story. I'm not happy with this story, and I'm backing St. Lucia on this one. You know what I mean? I'm backing Team Lucia on this one. We gotta stick together as Caribbean people, man. You can't just go and shoot off and kill off our people and then have no recourse and not be reprimanded for this. And I'm not going for it. I am totally not going for it. So I'm going to stay on top of this story. If there's anybody in St. Lucia or that St. Lucian that knows the family, that knows anything about it, you know, my condolences to the family. If there's any information that they want me to put out here, you know what I mean? I'm unbiased news, especially when it comes to the Caribbean. If there's anyone from in the John family, especially, or that's related to them that wants certain facts to be put out, get in contact with me. You know, I'm here and I'll always put this stuff out because you know what? St. Lucians have rep for Team Babbzy from day one, and I rep for St. Lucia, Team St. Lucia as well. So I'm not allowing this to go down like that. There's just no way. There's just no way. So let's go to another story that is very upsetting as well. So I'm going to read this story to you. British police officer, 25 years old, accused of raping student during a wedding while he was in Antigua. He will be extradited back to Antigua despite him trying to block the move because it would breach his human rights. This story is very upsetting as well. I am very, 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 very upset about this story, and I'm really ticked off at how the Antiguan government handled this. Let me read this to you. A police officer is accused of rape who claimed being sent to the Caribbean would breach his human rights, faces extradition. PC Lee Martin Cramp, 25 years old, will be flown to Antigua where he is suspected of raping a foreign student while attending a family wedding 3 years ago. The Scotland Yard officer tried to block the move, claiming being detained in the Paradise Islands' notorious 18th century prison would be inhumane. But in a legal first, the West Indian authorities convinced a London judge to sign off on his extradition with an extraordinary accommodation deal. Now, I am happy that the extradition is transpiring, because if you feel you can left where you come from and come and rape people in the island and then go along about your business, it ain't gonna happen. But watch the conditions. This is what I'm mad about. They have agreed to house Martin Cramp on a former U.S. air base with air conditioning, fridge, and ensuite bathroom. What the rascal you telling me? What the ass you telling me? You raped somebody in Antigua. You need to stand trial in Antigua. You're saying that the jail in Antigua is inhumane and you can't stay in the jail. So why did you engage in criminal activity for in the first place? If their jail was so frightening to you, what you rape off the people children for? What you rape off the people children for? The evidence has to be strong that he's being extradited. It has to be strong evidence that he's being extradited. But you're going to be extradited and you're going to Antigua and you're going to live in luxury, and Antiguan taxpayers are going to fund this because they don't have no say on the direction that their money goes. Why are you putting a rapist in luxury? I don't understand. Because they're British. He needs to go to regular jail in Antigua. It's inhumane. That's what jail is for. It's a deterrent. Jail is not a party. Jail is not no place to frolic up and chill and cock up in air conditioning with fridge and ensuite bathroom. Jail is supposed to deter you from committing crimes so you don't go back there ever again. You don't go to jail to have a great time. I According to documents released by Westminster Magistrate Court, Martin Cramp's lawyer said he could not be extradited because of the prison conditions. In February 2017, the country's chief magistrate, Emma, I can't pronounce her last name, agreed, saying that the conditions were not appropriate for a suspect who may be held for a lengthy period of time. So imagine what Antiguan people go through when they're put in jail in Antigua. And I don't think the judicial system in Antigua is fast. So I'm sure there's men that are in jail that are on remand in Antigua who've been in jail for 2 years, 3 years on remand. They haven't been convicted. They haven't been sentenced. They haven't had a case as of yet. The conditions are too inhumane for him to be in for a lengthy trial. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Barbuda just had a flattened last year by Irma or one of those hurricanes. You rather take money and house a British suspect of rape instead of making sure that people in Barbuda has homes or making sure that people in Antigua's homes get fixed? You would rather invest that money in somebody that raped somebody on Antiguan property? I don't know. I don't know. This is very aggravating. This is very aggravating that you would be, oh, the conditions are inhumane. The conditions are inhumane. They're supposed to be inhumane. Jail is not supposed to be fun. Martinez Kodak says he needs to go to regular prison. I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, I understand this whole first world, second world, third world understanding. But if you go into a third world country, right? It's one thing if you drive the wrong way and get thrown in jail in Mexico or one of these places and the conditions are inhumane for a traffic conviction. But for a rape is one of the most heinous crimes besides murder. And you mean to tell me that he can't go in a regular jail because Antigua, you dropped the ball on this one. I'm sorry. There are people in Antigua that could be better served with the money you're going to waste on this man to help them rebuild their houses or whatever. You're going to go house a man. You're going to go and house a man in luxury who raped somebody. I don't get it. I don't get it. These stories, and that's what this segment is really going to be about. This segment is going to be more about stories that need to be highlighted, that are not being highlighted because, Britain's not going to really talk about this. You know what I mean? Because they don't want to make their people look like they're going over to the Caribbean and raping people and whatever. But Britain has some nasty secrets that they be hiding because a lot of these women in Vietnam and the Philippines and Dominican Republic, a lot of English men who are perverts, they go to these countries and they go and sleep with 11 and 12-year-olds because there's no real strong laws against these types of crimes in these places. And they impregnate these girls. I've been watching documentaries of, scores and scores of people in the Philippines saying that their dad lives in England and they don't know and he needs to come back and they want to know who he is and they're 12 and they don't know their dad. These people hide a lot of the stuff that they're doing. They hide a lot of the stuff that they're doing. So this is not no big time story because you basically left Britain, went in Antigua, raped somebody, but because he's a police, you know what I mean? A white man in black people country, it's all going to be suppressed now. And it's like, okay, well, don't talk about it and don't headline it. This stuff is out of control. Trust me. Trust me. Another story that's been hidden. British man accused of murdering his wife in the Caribbean is set to inherit her estate. So a British sailor murdered his wife deliberately, sank their catamaran in the Caribbean to inherit her estate. Louis Bennett of Poole, Dorset, was smuggling rare stolen coins when he was rescued off the coast of Cuba without his wife, Isabella Hellman, in May 2017. Hellman's body has not been found. Court papers filed in the U.S. this week allege that Hellman's family bugged her apartment to listen to Bennett's conversations because they suspected him in her disappearance. The newlyweds were sailing towards their home in America last year when Bennett made an SOS call saying the 41-year-old former real estate agent was missing and the vessel was sinking. So this man is basically on trial for coin theft, and now, even though he's a suspect in the murder of his wife, they suspect him of murdering her, he's gaining her inheritance. I don't know. This story here is another one. I don't know. I feel like when I read stories like this, I feel like there is a very big division when it comes to, crimes and how people are treated. And, it's like, if a black man had went and sunk a woman and this and that and stole coins, this would have been prime time news all over the world. But it's like, I don't know. I don't know what to say. And then this next story that's going on in Barbados. What happened with Bajans? 2 men arrested on Saturday in connection with a major drug bust at a Florida hotel have returned to Barbados without facing criminal liability. Calvin Brathwaite and Dyson Benskin were arrested at the Hyatt Place Hotel in Dania Beach, Broward County, 37 kilometers north of Miami, after sheriff deputies found sealed bags of marijuana in their hotel room, according to media reports. A member of the hotel's housekeeping staff smelled a strong odor of marijuana coming from the room, and an employee notified management, who entered the room and found a large quantity of marijuana in bags on the floor and on a table, and subsequently called the Broward County Sheriff, the report said. As the deputies are awaiting a search warrant in Brathwaite and Benskin's return to the hotel, and they were later taken in custody. But there are conflicting reports, as Brathwaite's attorney differs from an affidavit issued by the sheriff's department. First, Thorne noted that it was a case of coincidence and an error made in the arrest of the 2 Barbadian men. But the affidavit states that the men admitted to receiving a phone call in which they received instructions for them to pick up the contraband. So I don't know what happened here, but this was running all over that 2 men were basically arrested. Bajans were arrested in America for having a room full of marijuana. They later determined that they had the wrong men, but it looks like they're not allowed to come back into America ever again. And in my mind, I'm saying to myself, well, if you had the wrong men and they didn't do anything, why are you penalizing them? I don't understand. Why are they banned from coming back into America if they didn't do anything wrong? I don't know. America is becoming very, 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 very scary to me. I feel like America is just like, I don't know, man. I don't want to say this, but I think if you're black, you should stay out of America. I don't think that, I think if you're black, you should stay out of America. You should stay out of America. Stay out of America if you're black. And if you can get out, get out. Believe me, I don't think that's no place for you to live. Just some little tidbit news. There was an earthquake today in Jamaica. Shortly after 2 p.m., as wide as Clarendon and as South Central, Clarendon in South Central Jamaica and St. Mary reported feeling the tremor at 2 p.m. The tremor was a 3.3 and occurred 5 kilometers southwest of Richmond, Jamaica. Has a depth of 10 kilometers. So I hope everybody in Jamaica who might have felt this tremor, hope you guys are okay. I hope you don't have any damaged property and things like that, because I know that, these earthquakes seem to be happening a lot in the Caribbean. It's crazy over there. And I hope y'all are good. Check in with me if you're Team Jamaica, Team Clarendon. Want to make sure you guys are good, because I know the whole of you guys is my posse. So just keep me posted on hoping that everybody is Hoping everybody's good over there and safe over there. And some good news, people. So WestJet launched a new airline called Swoop. Okay. Now Swoop Airline just introduced the fact that they are going to be having a direct flight from Hamilton to Montego Bay non-stop starting December the 16th. Now I went and checked these prices out, people. It is $149 one way to fly on Swoop to Jamaica from Hamilton. Mom, you gonna drive me to Hamilton to go to Jamaica now?
No way.
What do you mean no way? $149 one way from Hamilton to Montego Bay. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. Do you know what this means? This means Air Canada and WestJet and Air Transat and Sunwing on God get their acts together. Because if it's $149 one way to fly to Jamaica, you gonna come with me to Jamaica?
Yeah.
All right. You want to say good night to everybody in the chat?
Good night.
So, $149 one way from Hamilton to Montego Bay. Let me tell you something. I'm going to be in Jamaica every minute. I'm going to be in Jamaica every minute, mama.
Okay.
So, I have a picture of the airline. This is what it looks like. I don't know if you can see that. It might be a little blurry because it's too close. We're still trying to learn to focus on this thing. I have a new lens on here. But it's pink. So, people, if you're trying to get to Jamaica for Christmas, they fly on... It looks like they're flying on Saturday and Wednesday. Sunday and Wednesday. So in December, a one-way ticket to Jamaica is $740 on other airlines. And on Swoop, it's $149. So those of you who want to go to Montego Bay, now in Jamaica as well, because of the new highway, let me tell you guys something. I couldn't believe how fast I got from Kingston to Runaway Bay on that new highway. When I tell one, I tear down that highway. I got 5 speeding tickets on that highway. There was one point in time I was going 160. The police pulled me over. They're like, oh, they want to write me up and this and that. I give him the Canadian license. The man look at me. He's like, slow down. I was like, all right, tear down and gone, cross the road now, And then about another 20 minutes, get pulled over again. Police saying 147. I said, I'm sorry, man. I in a hurry, man. I trying to get to Kingston, man. They were like, slow down. But I knew highway smooth, boy. I don't think there's a highway in any other island smooth like that. That highway hard as kind. I heard the Chinese people build it. I ain't too sure. But that highway is smooth as ass. I'm telling you. So there you guys have it. Everything that's going on in the Caribbean in a quick rundown for you, because I know y'all want to know what's happening in all the islands. I'm going to be talking about the 15-year-old from Trinidad that is charged with killing somebody Carnival Monday 2017. He was 14 at the time. He's going to be going to court this week, so we're going to be doing some follow-up on that story, as well as I will be making sure to keep you guys abreast on any travel advisories in the Caribbean, letting you guys know any new airlines, discount flights, those kinds of things. That's what this segment's going to be about, just giving you guys the information that you don't normally get out here. And I want you guys to make smart decisions. Don't be going nowhere where there's like civil unrest and shit like that. So that's what this segment is really going to be about. So I'll be back next week Sunday. I will be going over everything again, pulling out all the latest stories and stuff like that. So thank you guys for joining me today. I appreciate it. You're gonna say bye, Mom? Bye. You can wave too. I don't know if she's going to be in every segment because she be feeling herself lately. So big up everybody that tuned in. Respect everyone. Let me play my music, my outro music. I don't know if you hear it. I ain't hearing none either. I can't play the outro music. Hold on, let me check something. You guys, this technical stuff, I'm gonna have to fix this. I gonna got to fix this. I gonna got to fix this. I gonna gotta fix it. I don't know if I'm gonna.
One thing. Ooh, nah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, nah, yeah, yeah. Babbzy, blow your nose. I'm not your mind. I know that you are not blind. So please make up your mind. Why are you for man black wrong? And you black it too. How she always be watching you. And the little thing that you do. How why Babbzy, blow your nose. I'm not your mind. Cause we are living in a tedious time. Mankind, don't you tell no lie. Why blow your nose. I'm not your mind. Cause we are living in a tedious time. Babbzy not telling no lie. Why righteous man. Babbzy want in the stand. Yet a righteous man is so hard to find. So I wonder who's gonna stop this war and crimes. Oh how there are some people can't do things on their own. Yes, they have to wait till Babbzy come out.